Cannon fight, even though it's possible to do silverless. Oh, here we go. Runners are off.
Here we go.
Gloves.
Wow. Lift upgrade right off the bat.
That's great.
1/3 of our Dark World access right there. Akash using the Zero Suit Samus sprite. I'm partial to seeing that one. And Stinger with the default sprite, it looks like.
And the bow.
Wow. All right. So that would maybe push both of our runners over to Eastern Palace, because they could full clear it as soon as they get a weapon of another kind.
They don't even need another weapon. They can just use the bow if they're feeling up to it.
That's true, yeah. And at this point in the game, I feel like all of our runners are pretty skilled at this game, so you could be right there. But first, we must finish the escape sequence. There's no getting around it in standard mode. In open mode, however, we could have gone straight to anywhere and gotten any kind of items. The blue hearts on Akash's channel there are for colorblind users, and just if you enjoy having blue hearts.
And the hammer in the first chest and escape here. So we're just a moon pearl away from Dark World access now. This is and 4 bombs. Okay, so this is a really great start for the runners, or at least Stinger. Akash did not get those bombs.
But it's nice to know that they're in that prize pack. Akash will be able to get those bombs probably pretty easily.
Yeah, I believe the 4-bomb prize pack is a bombs only prize pack, so if he kills, forgetting to grab the key from the blue key guard, if he kills the blue sword guards, he should be able to get a bomb.
Stinger had a little bit easier time with the guard in that room. We'll be slightly ahead going down to fight the ball and chain guard, but that's pretty negligible at this point.
Akash is opting to use the hammer to clear escape, which maybe he wants to save his arrows. There's not really a good way to get refills until you get to dungeons, and it does do a little bit more damage. 2 hits on the ball and chain versus 4 from the arrows. Cash might at this point just opt to farm the back of escape. The sewers with the higher density of rats and snakes makes clearing out enemies a lot quicker, so it's a lot easier to get a drop from them, even though Stinger did get the bomb drop already.
Yeah, there's a high likelihood that Akash will be finding them from either the guards or the rats or the bats in the basement. He won't go through escape without at least looking for bombs. Looks like he's just going to kill everything on his way there.
Needing bombs, those green guards get in your way half the time anyway. Might as well just kill him. Does opt to kill that green sword guard a little, slightly out of his way.
Could turn out to be all for naught. Those 3 chests in there could have nothing.
Honestly, the worst part about having to farm bombs for escape is that if you don't get bombs, you just think the whole time, well, what if something is there? And it really throws you off. But he gets his 4 bomb drop, so he's going to be off.
I see someone in chat asking if it's possible to get an entirely vanilla mix out of the randomizer. Yes, it is possible. However, the likelihood of that happening is very low.
Luckily, they got that 4 bomb drop. Stinger got poked by the rats, which is always annoying. Messed up his bomb.
Big 20 and 2 heart containers, neither of which are from the sanctuary. So that's going to give us a relatively healthy start for when we head over to Kakariko and the Lost Woods. Need 3 bombs and 100 rupees in Kakariko to clear it out. And a bottle, technically.
The annoying thing about the gloves is that they unlock Zora. And so, admittedly, both runners are in an okay spot for rupees right now, especially if they can get rupees from either the bush crabs or tree poles. But with the gloves unlocking Zora, you always kind of have it in the back of your mind. I need 500.
I wonder with having gloves this early if anybody's gonna make the trek up Death Mountain in the dark. Ooh, that's a nice tree pole. Getting some red rupees out of it, 4 of them.
It would certainly be an interesting play to go for the old man, but it doesn't look like either of them are. Kakariko, I think, is just a bit too dense for them to really make that play right away.
And a heart piece on the Lumberjack Cave, so that's not going to be an aggro-required push, at least. Looks like arrows in the grove, and in the cave, Thieves' Cave, we're going to have a 50 rupee pole.
So the tree pole that the both runners got was the tier 2 tree pole, which is you earn that one by killing 4 more enemies and having gotten hit at least once since your last tree pole. So Stinger could have opted to take a hit and kill 4 enemies after pulling the first tree to grab another 80 rupees there from this second tree. Didn't choose to do so. It's kind of hard to think about unless you have really practiced it a lot. Early game, the extra rupees are nice for sure.
Both of our runners were able to find full magic drops from the respective guards. And oh, there's an early hook shot. The singleton arrow. The blue goo in a bottle, I should say. And another heart piece, rather.
So now that Death Mountain play you were talking about makes a lot of sense with the hook shot. Opened up a bunch more item locations for them. They might wait to do it just because a fire source for Hera Basement is ideal, so you don't get locked out of Hera. And it's possible that the way up Death Mountain is going to be with the gloves and the lamp to rescue the old man. So the game will expect you to have a fire source for Hera.
Right, and if going there now would be a sequence break, and what that means is that since they don't have the lamp yet, they'd be doing that cave sequence with the old man in the dark, and the game will never require you to do that, but it's something that is allowed in this race mode.
So an early cave is always kind of annoying, but it's really not that bad unless you also happen to find the lamp, and then Aghanim really starts to weigh on you.
Yeah, and a sword would also be pushing them that way. And I don't think anybody wants to see an Aghanim see here, right, chat?
It's especially frustrating in a case like this, where, oh, there's your sword.
Oh, well...
But yes, since they're just a moon pearl away from Dark Blood access at this point, Aghanim is very unlikely.
Unless that pearl's sitting on the ledge.
Or something that leads to the pearl, like boots.
10 arrow upgrade from the sick kid. Chicken hut didn't have much in it. And we'll check this little square house in the back of the bar.
Stinger does buy bombs. I think he would have been at 1 bomb if he chose not to. Well, 2, I think, which is early game bomb. Lack of bombs can really be frustrating sometimes. So, piece of heart at the library.
We got our map check. We've got a green pendant in Eastern and Crystal 1 in Hera. I did not see what was on Desert.
I believe Desert was the red pendant.
Nothing of import at the race game, so we're going to get out of there, says Akash, and he's going to head, guessing down to the dam. Checking that rock there, it's a 50-50 chance of having a bomb underneath that rock when you pick it up.
That rock is fantastic. I save and quit sometimes just to go to that rock.
I as well. I was just gonna say every time I save and quit to the Link's house, even if I don't need bombs, I'll check it. There's those silvers we were talking about, and a nice hookshot clip there from Akash.
So now with I mean, you don't really ever want to check pendant dungeons if it can be helped, but with silvers and the hookshot.
Looks like you were right with the red pendant in the desert there.
But yes, with silvers and hookshot, Eastern Palace becomes trivial, as if it wasn't the easiest dungeon already, but Eastern Palace is much simpler with those 2 items, and a bit quicker. So, it being the green pendant, potentially 4 items, runners might opt for it, but I imagine we'd see the Death Mountain play first.
It is still locked by the logic of the lamp, but it would probably be clearable by both of our runners here, I think.
There's the moon.
There's Dark World access, yep. So Aga will not be required despite the early sword and cape.
So with Dark World access, I imagine the runners are more likely to tackle the Dark World. It is the logical thing to do. Death Mountain would be a sequence break.
At this point, I was gonna say, at this point, our lamp has got to turn up very soon in order to unlock something or some other progression item.
Yeah, I think when the seeds kind you this early, it keeps the lamp away from you forever, typically. So, lamp in the roller room in Turtle Rock, lamp in Mimic Cave, something like that is bound to happen. Both runners are opting to check Ice Rod Cave. With this being an elimination match, you never know if the runners are going to take more chances or take fewer chances. With Dark World access, they certainly could have skipped this and just gone straight to the Dark World.
And they would have been better off, seeing as it's only a big 20 in there.
Both runners opting not to fake flippers here. I think that's a good call. They don't have enough money for Zora, so even though Zora's in the logic, it would be the one thing in Zora's area that you leave.
Looks like we're both gonna go into the Dark World here, but from different points. Stinger opting to go for Hype Cave, and Akash is going to either hit Thieves Town or Skull Woods. Get your hype ready for Cave, chat. Red crystals in the north corners of the map, and the other pendant is in the swamp.
Pendant Swamp is a good thing and a bad thing. It means that you don't have to do Swamp, which is always great. Swamp is easily the worst dungeon. But you might not find the mirror because of that. And that just makes routing terribly annoying.
That's true, but it does lock out a lot of places that you can only check with the mirror. Which means you won't find progression there. And Akash going for that early dip into Skull Woods. Probably gonna find something of usefulness in here.
Gets the Gibdo stuck in place. That's always the dream for that room because it makes it much easier.
You never want to give Dose a chance.
Unfortunately, does just get a small key for it, so...
Now Stinger's opting to follow Akash's earlier path, having found nothing of real merit in the Hype Cave.
Small shield is a
Baby's
first
first
item.
shield.
So, I'm not certain why Akash chose to do this, but he has a small key, so we could have just opened the door from the left there. Instead, opts to use the drop down, which is... It makes more sense if you're starting there. Or starting from the south end of Skull Woods. But he chose to start from the top and got the small key. I'm a little unsure why he didn't just choose to open the door. Maybe he wasn't thinking about it.
Looks like I was incorrect. Stinger's going to check out the Thieves Town stuff first.
And last item in Skull Woods is a piece of heart.
Cash taking a death there. Interesting.
I think he just wanted to get his health back. He was on one heart. Dying in the Dark World overworld is really bad.
Oh, yes.
Sends you back to save and quit locations, so...
Yeah, knowing that he can't actually finish Skull Woods, he's getting out of there now. He's gonna go check Bumper Cave since he got that early cape. That's not a bad play. Good
Yeah.
for $50, and that's it.
I like the Skull Woods play here into Bumper Cave check if you're concerned that the cape gives you progression. Since it only unlocks Aghanim. Oh, well, there's the lamp on Stinger's
There
side.
it is.
And, you know, Skull Woods checks are pretty reasonably quick. You always want to do a dungeon once if you can, but Skull Woods isn't so bad to do twice.
Big 20 in the C-shaped house. Neither of our runner finding their favorite item to find the boots here so far. Ooh, and Stinger takes a hard death.
Oh, no. Yeah, if they had boots, Thieves Town is much better. Most of the enemies just kind of ignore you. They can't seem to keep up with you. Without boots, Thieves Town can be a struggle sometimes. Most things do 2 hearts of damage. They're only at 7 hearts, I believe, if I can count.
Yeah, 7 hearts. Well, 7 hearts for Stinger. Akash only has 6, but he'll be getting. Well, maybe not. He's going right in. I believe if they have the same amount, which he should have the same amount, he'll be picking up another heart piece here soon, and that will put him up to 7.
And a health refill with the heart piece. So it's good for Akash. Yeah, Stinger, these little guys do 2 hearts of damage or move erratically, so this is a little scary in his position.
Oh, saved by the heart container. He was probably hoping it was the sanctuary one there, but alas, for him it was not.
This chat is pointing out they have the hook shot. I don't believe either runner has checked what the stun prize is yet.
No, we have not seen that yet, because it either tickles him into stun or it puts him to sleep. I'm sorry, it just outright kills them is what I meant to say. And we have only seen them use them in the mini Moldorm cave.
Good on Stinger for knowing that heart was in that room. I didn't know that was there.
Item placement under pots in dungeons is key for when you're running in with green mail and fighter's sword in the dark world. I don't know if he was opting to kill that guy out of spite or what.
We might be looking for a hard drop, since 2 hearts is a little scary.
He does have the cape for the blind fight. That will be helpful. Since blind takes the same amount of damage no matter what weapon you hit him with, it's just as easy to use the sword as it is the hammer, if not easier.
Yeah, the first 2... Ooh, dodges the guy. The first 2 phases of blind are much easier than the third, so probably, well, I say probably, may choose to kill the first 2 phases then switch to the cape for the third phase.
Making quick work on that first phase. It is a scripted fight. If you can get it, if you can work with it, you'll be done almost before you start.
It does
use cape. And there's some blue mail. That'll make the rest of the Dark World a little bit easier.
So the only real progression in Thieves Town here was the lamp, which is always a great find. Lamp tends to be in really bad locations, I feel. But it makes a lot of the game much easier, so pretty worthwhile Thieves Town, especially since it's a crystal. And I think Akash has actually made up a fair bit of time in Thieves Town just by taking less damage, and clearing it out a bit more effectively.
Having Crystal 1 at 23 minutes and change is pretty good seed, I think, so far. Akash will be right behind, probably getting his first crystal here at maybe about 24:15 or so. And we're gonna get some digs into the digging game. Ten arrows for your trouble. Not even gonna take them.
Akash has a pretty nice blind fight. He got hit a little bit in phase 2, which throws off phase 3 a little bit, but still handled it pretty well.
It was off by a second. Akash gets his first crystal at 24:16. Old Stumpy with a nice 50 rupees.
So at this point, Pod is full clearable and in logic and a crystal, so I imagine Stinger's gonna head that way. It makes a lot of sense. And he did already check Hype Cave, so I'm just gonna head straight there. He's checking the pyramid first. I think with this crystal setup, crystals 5 and 6 being Skullwoods and Turtle Rock, you probably won't find much in the pyramid fairy location, so just check the actual pyramid whenever you get the chance. And this is a good chance right here. Stinger's going to ignore that bomb upgrade. Now heading over to Palace of Darkness. Does have enough rupees to pay Kiki, so that's good.
Kiki, the extortionist monkey, will take 110 rupees, or he will not open the door for you into the Palace of Darkness. First, we're going to check his Hype Cave.
Probably won't be very happy with this, but also probably wants to get over to Pod as well.
Kind of a linear seats for the most part here, is what we're seeing. Or at least that's how the runners are treating it.
Yeah, they could opt to go to Death Mountain at this point, but since they're already in the Dark World, saving and quitting to get to Light World and then have to go back to the Dark World is not ideal. So I imagine they're just going to want to check as much Dark World as possible before heading back into the Light World.
Yeah, it's probably in their best interest to route as much Dark World right now as they can, and pick up whatever items might be hidden there.
Stinger is opting to check both sides first. I'm not really sure what's the fastest way to route Pod.
Depends on what you get in the first chest.
Well, if you don't get a key, you have to go to both sides first. But I think even with the key, I could be wrong. It seems better to get to check both sides.
Yeah, especially if you have the bow. If you don't have the bow or a bottle and know how to do that bottle glitch thing that I don't really know a lot about, then checking the bow side becomes impossible. You could also use hover strats to get the chest that he's just pulled now, which had a key in it.
So he does get a second small key from the right side. The first, I believe it's... Well, let me count. The first 6 chests in Pod have to have 4 small keys. With his current routing, it doesn't matter that much, but since he's opting to check the vanilla big key location. But if you do find 3 without checking this location, you know it's a small key and that you'll get a key for a key. Which is why I'm never certain on what's the fastest way to route Pod, and he did get a key for a key.
There's not really a right answer to how to route Pod the fastest, unless you know exactly what layout you have in terms of items and in terms of what is in that first chest.
That is very true. That's why I like this route from Stinger. It's the safe route, guarantees you're going to check everything.
Yeah, and Pod's one of those dungeons that you want to check everything, even if you're go moding. Well, you wouldn't be go moding most likely, but you want to check every chest because there's so many different items that are available in Pod. I think it's 6 that you can get.
I think it's 5.
Okay, 5.
And it looks like Akash is having, or following the same route that Stinger is, most likely. We'll see what he does after he... Well, actually, they don't have boots, so they can't bounce up. I imagine he will check the vanilla Biggie location.
Yeah, there are 5 items in pod. There are 6 in Swamp, 2 in Skullwoods, 4 in Thieves Town, 3 in Ice Palace, 2 in Mire, and 5 in Turtle Rock. Oh, and 3 in 2 and 2 in the Light World.
Boomerang in pod. Blue boomerang is useful occasionally, more often than the red boomerang, I find.
Yeah, I probably won't see it used until GT, but it is useful. And don't forget, since you are here on the Speed Gaming Network channel watching this stream, when we get into going into Ganon's Tower, we will play a guessing game. So think about where you want to see that big key early, folks. So
here in Stinger, I guess, forgot to count his keys. Checked the Hellway chest, which was guaranteed to be a key. You're not allowed to have small keys in the Dark Maze here, so given he had 5 keys and had not checked the Hellway chest, that was the only chest available to him to have a small key, and it did have a small key.
Possibly setting up a death warp here, or just running into fire, I'm not sure. But he does find the cane of, that's gotta be cane.
And he does not get the refill, so if he is setting up the death warp, it worked out for him.
Yeah, that's definitely what he's going for here. Ooh, we're gonna see a Yimmer jump. I said that wrong. A hammer yump is what I meant to say.
Does get it, showing how moving 1 pixel is basically impossible. But given the early small key in this dungeon, I do prefer this route if you can do it. You don't have to death warp. You check the items in a more efficient manner. And using that cane right away to avoid having to push the statue.
Chat's all mad at me because I didn't shout about it. That's gotta be Kane. It's Phantom Ryu's. I can't steal his thunder.
So this will be the second crystal dungeon for the runners that's given them something actually useful. That's always a good feeling.
They both have, well, Akash has at least rupees for Zora now if they want to check that when they get back to the Light World. Stinger probably will by the time we get there.
So, because Akash hammer jumped, he does need to grab that small key. Well, if he takes the quicker route, he does need to grab that small key.
Having a little bit of trouble with these bonk crab things, bonk turtles. But he manages to kill them all.
Meanwhile, the beetles don't want Akash to get out of his room and are giving him all the trouble they can. Nice. Good job there.
Yeah, that was scary for a moment, but he handled himself well.
One silver arrow finishes off Helmasaur. He makes the fight tremendously easier. And I think based off of what the runners have done and what's available to them, Death Mountain looks pretty good right now.
Crystal 2 coming in at 3502. Akash making short work of these bonk turtles now.
Does his best to avoid the turtle party with just a fighter sword is more difficult than it looks. Thinks about grabbing those 8 bombs, realizes he has 11 and that's probably enough to finish the game.
Yeah. Now we're going to see our Death Mountain play. Here we go. Stinger goes into the cave. He's going to find an old man, and he's going to take him to his house.
Akash cleans up his Helma sword fight. I think the only location left of him in the Dark World is Catfish, so probably gonna save and quit as well.
Yeah, Catfish until we find the mirror. Sounds about right.
Sword upgrade from the old man.
That's not a bad thing, especially now that we're going to be doing a lot more Dark World and boss fights coming up. But we need a little bit more progression first, so he's going to head on up the mountain, see what's on the Spectacle Rock area and inside of it. Rupee horde sitting on top, and underneath we have a bomb horde. So probably won't be seeing either of those picked up. Maybe the rupees.
So actually at this point in time, the runners can finish Hera and then check, well, I say finish Hera because it makes more sense to do that, but then check Spike Cave. They do have the cape and they do have a bottle, which is generally what's required for it to be in logic.
Cash doing his lumberman check over here. Hasn't done that yet. We'll be finding out that it's just a piece of heart. Meanwhile, Stinger's over in Paradox Cave. Another B-Torp and a Big 20.
Moldorm's in that room, never playing nice.
Another male upgrade is good. Not for good for progression, but very good for our runner. Does take away any possibility of death warping, though, or at least doing it easily. Setting up another bomb jump here. Does not get it. Was not far enough to the left.
Akash rescues the old man and is also going to check the top of Light World Death Mountain. A minor issue with this Death Mountain setup and what the runners have is you want to check both Red Boomerang on the ledge for the floating island. You kind of want to check both of Spiral Cave and Spike Cave at this point in time, but they're both big time commitments, and it's hard to justify doing both of them. So we'll see if either runner opts to do one or the other, or both.
Yeah, doing both at this time is not ideal, because you don't have the boots for Spiral Cave, and you don't have a lot of health. Even though it is in the logic for Spike Cave. There's an early big key up on the vestibule there.
Akash attempting this same bomb jump.
Looks like he's on the right pixel, and he is.
That's a nice little time save if you can get it.
Yeah, it's gonna put him a little bit closer to where Stinger is now. Not sure why we were playing Ring Around the Rosie there. You don't have the boots yet.
Akash also avoiding Spiral Cave, potentially saving it for the trip down. See how this Moldorm fight goes? It's always worse than you think it's going to be.
He doesn't have the name Trolldorm for a reason, or anything. Oh, not a bad fight though from Stinger. Able to get him down and doesn't take any kind of fall or anything. Akash making good work of those beetles over there. And he'll be heading up to Moldorm just about 20 seconds later. Oh, he's still got another level between them. Make that a minute later.
So I think Akash is going to attempt a bomb jump here, which is going to save a little bit more time over it and then falling down. Gets the bomb jump. Well done.
Yeah, that's easily saving him a good 20 seconds there. Stinger's down in the tile room, ready to clear out the basement.
Making a game of it, Stinger. By just avoiding all the tiles rather than setting up an easy coffee break.
Yeah, no coffee break strats, I was just gonna say. We'll see if Akash goes for them.
Akash also has a pretty nice Moldorm fight. Gets out of there easily.
Not forgetting the magic refill, and getting half magic anyway, so it could have skipped the magic refill. But half magic is great. I'd say well worth time spent in the tile room.
Akash avoiding it altogether.
Not required for beating the game, so this is, if he doesn't go back for it later, this is going to be another big time save for him. He's going to go do Spiral Cave.
It looks like Stinger is going to opt to check Spike Cave here.
So commentators will be getting both of the checks, but I don't think the runners will get the other check. Spiral Cave not paying out very well, just $50. Stinger is going through hookshot strats, not a bad choice. Then I'm going to switch to cape. Could have just started with the cape, probably having had hack magic, but that's alright.
The mitts.
Oh, and it's gonna come back to bite Akash later. But he is going up right now to check it, so.
I think at this point he might be out of location. Well, no, he still has Catfish, which is just as out of the way.
Catfish, Zora. Could always fake flipper to the other places. The other places being the Venus Wishing Waterfall Fairy and Hobo.
You are correct. They did have some more sequence breaks than I was thinking about.
But none of that would be in the logic, so...
No Half Magic is going to be... He should be good here.
He gets his Titans. Stinger going up through Dark Death Mountain, gonna get in Super Bunny Cave here. Missed the first clip, or got confused about it, I should say.
It is possible that Turtle Rock is Ether, and that there is some progression that is not Fire Rod locked. So, it's more likely that there's progression in Hookshot Cave, but taking the Dark World portal at the bottom of the mountain does open up the possibility that progression in Turtle Rock, you have to save and quit and come back here.
And he's gonna go check Turtle Rock right now, and we're going to find out that it is in fact Ether. But first, we have to go into Hookshot Cave. Remember, what was on our floating island? Was it a boomerang?
It was a red boomerang, yes.
Probably won't see them go for that.
So no progression in Hookshot Cave. The mids do open up a little bit more with the Smith's area, which might be what he's opting to check.
Akash does not get his clip, so he has to go up the stairs and then fall down the hole.
So if there is progression in Turtle Rock at this point, we won't know for a while, since Akash also opted to use the bottom portal.
Super Bunny Cave was too alluring for both of our runners, and it did give them a little bit of love, which upped their heart container count, but it's probably not a good trade-off. We'll see. Stinger's going to do the South Dark World X fetch quests, starting with Peg Cave.
And with no mirror. I guess he didn't check that. I thought he had cleared all of Village of Outcasts.
I had thought that as well. Perhaps not. Akash making some fancy footwork there to stay on that ledge, almost took a dive.
But yes, here's where having no mirror kind of hurts. Is in the Smith loop, it takes much longer than having the mirror.
Oh, he's not starting with Peg Cave. He's going up to check Bumper Cave as well, like Akash did earlier.
So Akash is actually checking, it looks like the eastern area, maybe? Yeah, both runners have put this off. At this point, between Green Pendant Eastern, 3 items in Eastern, Sarashala's Hut, and then Sarashala himself, that's 8 items, so this is a pretty good play.
Yeah, I would have done this as soon as I got that bow, probably. Not saying that would have been a better play at that point, because it seems like it'll be a little easier now with level 2 sword and red mail. But we'll see what was locked over here this whole time. So, it looks like about 20 arrows and 300 bucks in Sarashala's closet. Old man Miser over there.
And Stinger is opting to check Skullwoods. 2 items, but he cannot complete the dungeon at this point in time. I think both runners are kind of really trying to figure out where to go. It's the seed kind of...
The name of the game.
Yeah. Seed's not helping them out very much right now.
It started out pretty linear, but now it's kind of, alright, figure it out. Alright, Akash coming up to our first box in Eastern. Gonna see what we found over here. Nothing useful.
So I believe Stinger got both items out of Skull Woods. I'm not sure why he's choosing to check this right now. Maybe he wants the full magic more than anything else.
Akash getting that nice glitch that only spawns 2 Stalfos in that room. Stall Childs, perhaps.
So far, Eastern Palace has just provided us with rupees.
While not useless, definitely not useful.
I imagine that Akash already having almost 1,600 rupees is just frustrated every time he gets another rupee drop.
Now Stinger's doing our peg cave check. We gonna see progression in here? Something like a book, perhaps, or a flute? Fetch quest mushroom. Do you wanna do a fetch quest?
Mushroom is definitely frustrating. It does open up fake powder for him right here. He did just grab a full magic. I don't know how interested he is in doing fake powder. Maybe very.
With the cane, it won't take him super long to get rid of it, but...
Well, the fastest way is the lamp. If he was opting to do fake powder, I would imagine he would switch to the lamp and be using all of his magic right now, but...
For those not in the know, the fake powder is a glitch you can do with the Batman in Batcave, but only if you have the mushroom and the red cane. I believe you set it up where you go in with no magic, and then you use the red cane. Oh, here we go. We might see it soon here, anyway.
Meanwhile, Akash is fighting Armos Knights. It's the fire rod! Wow, okay.
And the blue cane for Stinger.
Stinger using a cape during his magic. Pretty good idea as well. But can't hammer right now, which is a little... He's just waiting.
Another coffee break strat. So as I was saying, you go to use the cane, and then while it's making the burr burr sound, you switch to the mushroom. I believe is how it works.
So Akash got the fire rod. This makes... You can't finish Turtle Rock at this point. But having access to Turtle Rock all the way up through Laser Bridge.
The sound again was brr, brr.
Maybe opting to do Skull Woods here.
Yeah, Skullwoods with that fire rod is clearable now.
Stinger now going to turn in that mushroom, since it has only use for him would be to try to fake powder anti-fairies, which is pretty tough. So, just gonna turn it in instead.
I like to watch that witch animation. She's just cooking up a storm in there.
It is possible, that fire rod. If we find Ice Rod in Turtle Rock, that we will have progression at the Pyramid Fairies, so maybe that's on Akash's mind right now.
Stinger opting to get some blue goo.
Doesn't fill up his magic while he's there. If he's heading to Eastern, it won't matter that much.
Akash is going to clear out Skullwoods finally. Did he check Sarashula with that green pendant? I didn't see.
I think so. I missed what item it was. Let's see how this moth fight goes for Akash. Using the hammer.
Looks like chat saying it was a big red 20 rupees on Sarashula. Opting to save his magic is Akash, and I'm not sure why, but doesn't matter if what I'm thinking because he managed to bring down the moth pretty easily with hammer strats.
Yeah, 4 hits with the hammer to kill moth, plus you can get a free spin at the start of the fight every time. Definitely makes it definitely appealing strategy. Moth played pretty kind with him, so he was able to get through it. Since he's not going straight for Turtle Rock, I imagine here, or Akash that is, I imagine he's going to pick up the Smith Loop, at least check hammer pegs and get the Smith.
Really big key for Stinger. At this point, I'd like to say to you guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and give both of our runners a follow here on Twitch. They are putting on a wonderful race for you here, and they both are deserving. Now they're just doing what the other runner has already done with Peg Cave and Eastern. Eastern having mostly rupees and Peg Cave having... Gosh, I forgot what was in Peg Cave.
The mushroom.
Ah, yes, the mushroom. There it is.
Alright, we will see if he chooses to turn in the mushroom, chooses to do fake powder. I imagine being in the area, he will also choose to do it. Well, if he's thinking Turtle Rock, he might not choose to do it just so he has the magic to actually get in.
Yeah, at this point, we're racing to find the next progression item. Whoever finds it first is going to be in the quote-unquote lead for the time being.
So Turtle Rock is open to us all the way up through Laser Bridge. I imagine the runners aren't super interested in doing that just because currently, if they don't know if they can finish the dungeon. Ice Rod is at large.
There is a good chance it's in Turtle Rock or the Mimic Cave. There's also a chance that it's on the pedestal.
Yeah, this is kind of a hard decision to make to go in there, even if it is. He is choosing the fake powder here.
I think if you have the option to fake powder, you should almost always go for it. Since we didn't get to hear the noise, I'll do it for him. Burm, burm.
So now both runners are in pretty much the same spot. It looks like he is going to head up, turn in the mushroom. If he fake flippers here. Yep, that's what he's going for.
Half Magic was located in Hera Basement. I didn't know you could pull off fake flippers there. Interesting.
Yeah, and then that portal puts you pretty close to the witch's house, but the whirlpools don't like to play nice sometimes, and he had a little difficulty getting around them.
Oh yeah, I hate driving around in the water. It's the worst.
So I'm guessing at this point Stinger is looking to finish the Smith's chain by grabbing the purple chest, I guess. Akash is gonna fill up his magic here.
Makes it look like he might be going up to Turtle Rock, and then he gets a blue goo to go.
Checking Zora.
Ah. Possibly vanilla flippers here.
Oh, Stinger is checking or finishing Skull Woods. That's actually, yeah, pretty smart idea as well.
Yeah, with that will put our runners at basically even, unless Akash finds something super useful up here. Big 20 on the ledge, that's not going to help.
So another option the runners have, although I'm not sure how interested they are in doing it, is fake flippering the Ice Palace. At this point in time, that's the only thing that flippers are potentially required for in this run. And if nothing's in Swamp, it's a good play, but not go-moding Ice Palaces takes a while, so we'll see what they choose to do.
Zora just holding on to a big piece of love for our runners today. What is entirely a mystery to us right now is what Agina has and the Desert Ledge. What other overworld place? We have the woods, the grotto, I mean, with the digging spot, and the graveyard. Those are all unchecked so far. All of these are places that we can't get to still. Could Akash be making an Ice Palace play?
Looks like he is, not even opting to check the, excuse me, the other Flipper's locked locations when he's here just doing this. I think this is a pretty reasonable play. It's possible that Turtle Rock just has the Flippers, although Stinger might be heading Turtle Rock now. We'll find out. And so you could have Flippers in Turtle Rock, and then Ice Rod in Ice Palace or Misery Mire or somewhere else entirely, and then you're forced double dip, and this would avoid that. Spin strats on the Pen Gators is just a bit slower than using the hook shot here.
Yeah, the Pen Gators are very ticklish.
And it looks like Stinger is going to opt for the Turtle Rock play here.
Can't say it's a bad idea. Like I said earlier, 5 items are a possibility in here. He can get to most of them.
Yes,
Trinex being the only one he can't, I believe.
Yes, that's correct.
Which Trinex might not even have an item, so that might not matter.
If the only progression in here is the Flippers right now, then this play by Akash is probably better. But if there's any other progression, who knows? Akash does have both hookshot and cane, so he's avoiding the bomb jump here.
I hate that bomb jump. Big key out of the left chest. Stinger's gonna go up to the right now and get the cane chest in the roller room.
So Turtle Rod is fire round locked. If the runners they did have an opportunity to do it earlier. If they had done that, they would have been locked out of the dungeon early anyway, so it wouldn't have been that bad. Akash finds the mirror.
That's gonna change some things. Opens up a lot of overworld.
So at this point, if in the unlikely event, well, I say unlikely, it is possible that you have progression that is Flippers in Turtle Rock, required to get the mirror in Ice Palace, to go do Swamp. So, but the mirror opens up a lot for Akash that he might not want to go to Turtle Rock right away, if that's the play.
He might go to Swamp. Well, he couldn't go to Swamp, yeah, because he would need the Flippers. Yeah, never mind.
Almost medallion to Turtle Rock.
Those chain chomps are really bodying Stinger.
Three hearts turned into mushroom, so can't fake powder. Not that I think he would want to anyway. Since with Master Sword, you definitely want to fire rod these pokies.
Gonna check the lava chest now.
Yeah, in standard or open, there's boots and ice palace. That's nice. In standard or open, I think it's almost always worth it to check that chest.
Okay. In key sanity, that's a different story altogether.
So ice palace has a lot of value right now. Mirror and boots. Turtle Rock had Bombos, which is potentially the medallion to open mire.
Akash has to remember, though, everything he gets with the mirror and the boots, though, is a sequence break.
And the flute. Oh man. Turtle Rock. Wow. Both these runners have a lot of places they can go right now.
Seed's really opening up at this point.
Alright, let's see how Akash handles this cold stare fight.
I imagine it will be with poise and class. Hammer puffs, here we go.
Nice timing to get all three of them with that first hammer.
I think he got all three of them for the second hammer as well.
Yeah.
Definitely got two with the third.
He does have a second blue potion, so a little scary, but is more safe than I was counting for.
Opts to stick with the hammer. Could have went back to the ice or the fire rod, but nevertheless making short work of cold stare for a key. There's our level 2 shield for Stinger and the laser bridge. So far, nothing of very good use here.
So it looks like, I don't know, Misery Mire is the mire area opened up from Turtle Rock, and this could be a, I mean, maybe it's just the flippers in there, I don't know, but
yeah, it looks like the logic wants you to do Turtle Rock, go to Misery Mire, and then Ice Palace, I'm guessing. Akash using a hammer dash, which can only be done in this version of the game. The original Japanese vanilla version of the game is the only version that has that ability in it. And it also requires you to have a sword in order to do it. And he's going to be checking Cave 45 while Stinger unlocks his swag duck. Inside the mire shed will be 2 items. Literacy. Stinger going to be heading into mire with bombos. So with that book, that unlocks both of the tablets. It allows him to check the pedestal, and it gives us desert access. So I imagine he doesn't want to dip into desert, but at this point he almost have to. Though without the mirror, it's not going to appeal to him as much as it would have if he were in Akash's shoes.
Yes, it is true, although you do need the mirror to unlock the Bombos tablet as well. And Akash, following what the sequence break gave him, checking these mirror and boots locations.
So far has not paid off for him. Well, paid out right there with 300 rupees, but
not with progression, which is what he really wants. Typically, I would say early mire big key is good, but when you still need a fair bit of progression here, it's not what you want. Or, well, I guess, well, flippers and ice rod might be it, right, at this point. And now we're 16. This is a fairly late go mode for these runners.
yeah, I think flippers and ice rod are all we're looking for at this point. That's all Akash is looking for anyway. But knowing now that we have that desert access, I think we might have to dip in there. And everybody's favorite desert troll, Agina. Oh, that looks like Akash is going to go check him right now.
Akash doesn't want to double dip Turtle Rock. Makes sense, but it does potentially a lot of progression. Well, we know it has a lot of progression, but it has 5 items for him. I think only 4 were available. No, I think maybe all 5 were. And it looks like he's run out of places he wants to go and is maybe heading to Turtle Rock.
Longest cutscene that you don't even see. Avoids all 3 of those. That was impressive.
Wizrobe's hurt. So, and the flippers.
There
Okay.
they are. Water shoes.
So it looks like maybe the only way this sequence break plays out, works out for Akash is if he saves time with the boots, which he is saving a little bit of time, or if Ice Rod is Mimic Cave. That would be awful, from what the seed wanted you to do perspective.
I've seen worse, as I'm sure most of us have. It seems like sometimes the randomizer just finds the newest way to screw you over.
Although, we could still get the classic Ice Rod on Ped in this seed, so...
Yeah, Pet is not dead. It's just limping along.
One heart from Stinger here. This is a little scary. Does have
Compacto. No one has checked Hobo or Waterfall. Akash misses his hook shot jump.
Those rollers getting in everybody's way. Especially Akash's. Stinger's coming up on his victories fight. You imagine he'll have no issues with it with the bow and silver arrows. One shot's all of the little eyeballs, and two shots the big eyeball. Or using spin strikes. I haven't had to use the bow in a while. Maybe he just forgot, I don't know. Or maybe he just really likes slashing the eyeballs.
And Vitreous goes down and reveals another key.
So now Ice Palace looks pretty good for Stinger. And you can also check the Flipper's locked locations, which we haven't seen yet.
Yep, that would be the Waterfall of Wishing and the Hobo. Also, technically the Zora Ledge, but we know that's just a big 20, so we probably won't see him go for it.
And he is getting these flipper checks done before heading into ice.
This is very much anyone's race still at this point. It's hard to say who's really got a good lead here.
Here's the big moment of truth for Akash. Ice Rod and Mimic Cave would certainly swing it in his favor.
That's true.
And we are going to find 50 rupees. Okay, so maybe Ped still? Maybe Swamp for Ice Rod?
I'm thinking Waterfall of Wishing.
That would allow Stinger to go mode Ice Palace if he wants to.
Oh good, I was really hoping I was wrong. I want to see it on the ped.
Well, at this point, the only dungeon not cleared out is, well, Desert and Swamp. And we have, well, we have the ability to full clear both dungeons right now. This is definitely a viable ped seed.
Stinger knows that with proper swimming techniques, it's faster to swim than to walk. However, opts out of them as he was not getting the proper swimming technique.
Yeah, swimming is surprisingly hard to do quickly. And especially if you have to add any diagonal movement in, it's very difficult.
There's a way to pump when you're swimming that almost doubles the speed you travel. I'm not certain how to make it happen, though.
Yeah, I believe you're correct, but I believe that's also nearly frame perfect, so it's incredibly difficult to do. Akash taking the safety door. Since he's out of magic, can't use his safeties. Probably doesn't want to eat. I guess maybe he's out of questions. I didn't see. Gets the full refill from the heart piece. Realizing he doesn't have Ice Rod. So he's just gonna save him quick.
Akash has more overworld cleared than Stinger, but it has not brought him any more progression. Now we're gonna get him to unlock his swag duck.
Stinger is probably gonna, well, he's going to get his mirror in his boots in here. Maybe he is just gonna call a ped seed as soon as he sees that, but probably more likely to just check his overworld locations, I would imagine, since you just need the Ice Rod right now.
The Ice Rod, we haven't seen a checkerboard cave check yet. We might see that here from Akash.
Akash doesn't actually have enough magic to get into Mire right now.
So we might see him do checkerboard cave and desert first.
Yeah, desert just for the full magic refill.
And whatever progression may be in there. There's powder, that's a nice safety to have.
Not realizing he doesn't have enough magic.
I think he's just gonna mirror there. Oh, no, he doesn't. That would be a big burp burr.
So realizing that, I think he is going to make a desert play now. Stinger grabs his boots. Always a good item to find, especially since I know he wanted it. So Akash not getting that small key off the ledge. I think it's a little interesting play. I guess just grabbing those two magic pots and then opting to do Mire.
Interesting.
It does seem worthwhile to me. He knows that he's just an Ice Rod away to grab the small key and at least check. It only adds, I don't know, not that much time. Really not that long of a check. And then that would allow him to go mode Mire potential. Well, yeah, go mode Mire. Stinger realizing he forgot the iced tea chest. Wanted to do the boss, but forgot about this one.
That big key will come in handy for that.
So now we'll see how Stinger handles his cold stare fight. Half magic does. He has half magic and bombos, so he certainly can use magic more freely than Akash could.
It's gonna go straight fire rod though, no bombos required. One
Fire
puff
does
down.
tremendous damage, so gets one of them down quick. The other two are pretty weak.
2 puff down, 3 puff down. Gets his last key and his next crystal. So now, do you go into swamp or do you go into desert?
I think his first order of business is going to be checking boots locked locations. I think
Most
you want to
likely.
avoid dungeons when you're only one item away.
Yeah, I was hoping to see a gamble.
Maybe not. Maybe heading straight for desert.
Checkerboard cave. It's the only thing he'd be checking now. Or I guess he could be going to desert that way.
We'll check checkerboard first. That makes a lot of sense.
Powder not required, but it does make running through the Ganon's tower a lot easier. Among other places.
Stinger decides he has enough money already. Doesn't want another big 20.
Interesting.
We'll see if this small key gives us anything. And I guess we'll see if Akash decides to go with spin strats like Stinger, or wants to use his bow because he really dislikes the Victorious fight.
Alright, Stinger checking the last chest in the front half of desert. And has a map. Now he's only got the big key chest.
Alright, now that Misery Mire didn't pay off for Akash, let's see what he chooses to do. Did go to the mirror, but I don't know what he's planning on. Second item, desert, is nothing, so... Swamp Palace.
Looking more and more like swamp or pedestal.
Deciding where to go, maybe.
No, Paxman. The fairy has not been checked. The waterfall fairy.
Maybe this is a pedestal check from Stinger.
It's the only thing left up here.
I think he still has the purple chest, but
Oh, nope, he's going to the Dark World. You're right.
he does have the Bonk Rocks Graveyard Ledge and the King's Tomb as well. So
All of that we already know has nothing in it, but he doesn't know that, and he's going to check them.
So Akash didn't check both items and went back into Mizramar after fighting Victorious.
I think the only places that we know that have been totally unchecked are the pedestals, the pedestal, obviously, the Bombos tablet and the Ether tablet, and Swamp, and Waterfall Fairy.
I think
And
Stinger
Fat
checked the
Fairy.
Waterfall Fairy. But Fat Fairy doesn't matter since we need Ice Rod to get to it.
That's true. And I think you're right. Now that you've mentioned it, yes, Stinger has checked the Waterfall Fairy, I believe.
Is this potentially a ped check? It looks like a ped check maybe from Akash.
What about Catfish? Did anybody check Catfish?
Oh, you are correct. Catfish has not been checked.
All right, here we go. On the pedestal, we have a bee torp.
That's going to work out for Stinger since he opted not to do land molas when he was in desert. But still leaves us on a wild hunt for this Ice Rod.
Rip the pedestal hype, chap. I'm sorry, I wanted it too.
So we are getting the Catfish check now.
It's gonna be here. Unless it's somewhere else.
Akash going for the purple chest. This is tough. This is tough and frustrating. This is... Where is the Ice Rod?
The question, yeah, I have no idea. It remains at large. I guess it's gotta be in Swamp now?
So it looks like Akash is going to check purple chest and the Bombos tablet. And then maybe Swamp or maybe the Grove south of Stumpy. This is...
Oh, it could be locked behind the shovel. We did get a Cave 45 check. I don't remember what was in it.
We did? Okay.
I want to say arrows, perhaps?
Well, nothing interesting, that's for sure. As the purple chest rewards us with a blue rupee.
And on our tablet here, we're going to find a nice heart container.
Okay. Doesn't want to make the swamp dip, I guess. Or, okay. Maybe he does. No.
Just doesn't want to walk that far.
Oh, he hasn't checked Flipper's locations. This makes sense for him. So Stinger, I think, will have the options between Swamp and Ether Tablet. So for him, Swamp makes the most sense. I think that's correct.
Alright, so let's see. If it's not in Swamp, it has to be on the Ether Tablet, right? It's the only other choice.
I think that's correct. Yes.
Looks like Akash is gonna go to Swamp.
No, I think he's faster to fly and then take the portal to Zora rather than swim out.
Yeah.
And Stinger is going for Swamp.
It's gonna be in here, but I kind of want it to not be in here because I want him to go up to the Ether Tablet.
Akash, gonna see what we get for our free bottle refill. Blue potion, that's really nice.
Money saved.
And it looks like Akash also making the Swamp play.
Neither runner wants to check that Ether Tablet. This is the better choice for them, of course. There's far more chest density in Swamp.
So if it is here, Stinger has a slight lead over Akash. Unless it's left side and one of the runners opts not to go left side right away. So the left side gamble here could pay off pretty big, or it could be a disaster. Ah, the shovel.
Now we have another place that the ice rod could be.
Stinger is going to check left side here.
I would as well. It seems like a wise choice when you're not actually clearing the dungeon for anything other than items.
Very true.
It could turn out that it was unnecessary, though. We'll find out very shortly. At this rate, though, you know they're going to find another sword upgrade.
This is definitely the safer play from Stinger here, since they already grabbed the big key, so there's no potential of going back in the dungeon if you go this way. Akash grabs his shovel. Is he going to go for it? He's deciding. Oh no.
Oh, this could be a gamble. This could be huge for either of our runners.
But it is left side. Okay. Akash
Oh,
doesn't mirror out. This is good for him.
that's
Check
go
left.
mode at
Ooh, goes to the back.
145. Akash is gonna fall
Oh
a little
no.
bit farther behind, going to the back first. Oh no.
I think that shovel really threw him for a loop, and I don't know. But he has also been a bit of a gambler from earlier, so maybe this is just how he always plays it.
Despite the fact that we're in go mode, we're not gonna see any go mode dungeons. He's gonna go mode Ganon's tower.
This should be pretty quick from Stinger to check Turtle Rock. Ooh, Tempered Sword in Swamp Palace. Could be really nice. I don't know if it'll be enough of a difference.
If it comes down to a Ganon fight, a Tempered Sword versus Master Sword is going to be a huge time save. But Akash is falling further and further behind the deeper he goes into the dungeon. Especially now with this boss fight.
At least Tempered Sword makes the Argus fight that much quicker, so he'll be right back in Swamp right after this. Hopefully. Alright, Akash, go back in.
Yep, he's not going to leave it to chance. He's going to go back in and check that left side immediately, which is the thing he needs to do.
Assuming we don't find a sword in GT, Tempered, as you said, speeds up the Ganon fight, and it does speed up the tower as well, so...
Yeah, the gauntlet itself will be a lot more manageable for Akash. But there are several places within Ganon's tower that other sword could be hiding. And the difference between Tempered and Buttered versus Ganon is not significant.
Certainly not worth clearing all of Swamp Palace for. Alright, Stinger's about ready to head into his Trinex fight here. Opting for backdoor strats. Doesn't speed up the fight without Gold Sword, but interesting strategy. Health getting a little low. Can do this.
Made the right choice in killing the ice rod, or the ice head first, so it doesn't make that slight. Oh no.
It has to redo the whole dungeon, which is tough. That really hurts.
That's giving Akash a lot of opportunity to play catch up now as he finds his ice rod, and he is saving and quitting out of Swamp rather.
All right, now the sword difference could really come into play.
Yes, this is
pretty close.
This has become a much closer race now. Could come down to a left side, right side gamble in GT also.
Very well could, especially with this setup to have. Stinger starting to take a lot of damage.
Akash narrowly avoids the dead rock lock.
Alright, I'm assuming Stinger has no potions or anything, or else most likely would use them in the Trinex fight the first time, so maybe he'll take the safety door this time, especially since he's only at 5 hearts right now.
Can't say that.
Or he'll just go for it again.
He'll just go for it, yeah. Maybe powder one of these fairies? Anti-fairies, rather?
Yeah, I think he does want to do that. I'm in a little trouble in this maze here. Does heal up to full, so we should be good to go.
Took a little longer than he'd have liked, I'm sure. I'm betting he feels behind now for sure, if he didn't before.
And Akash doesn't have half magic. I think he does have a blue potion though, so it's
still anyone's race.
An equipment race, yes. Stinger not opting to just spam the fire rod on the head. I think that's a good idea when you have half magic, since you can't switch while the heads are exploding.
There we go.
And the short reach of the hammer makes this part tough. Let's see how it goes.
So far, very good. And Trinex is down.
Alright, so this is the 7th crystal, which opens up the guessing game for us. I imagine by now, most people know the guessing game. But for those that don't, there's 22 chests in Ganon's tower that can have the big key, and we need to find it. So, get your guesses in.
See a lot of numbers flying through chat right now.
I don't even know what the seed wants. Like this one, it could be anywhere. I'm not.
I always go for number 8, which is the fire bar room in the typical route, but we'll see.
And Stinger is in, so all the guesses have to be done. Go straight left side here.
Interesting. Possibly a little Dark Magician strat?
So his first item was just a piece of heart. 2 and 3, meteor shield and bombs. 4 rupees. 5 a small key. Akash checking just the first 2 chests, gets a small key out of it, so. Looks like the right side, left side gamble won't matter here.
6 being the map, which would have been normally my pick there, but
we are seeing the one use of the blue boomerang so far this run.
I called it. I do believe one of our runners used it in that dark room in that one temple.
Maybe. It's been a long race.
It's chest number 7 there.
Random room, 4 items. Good chance of it being here. Eight, 9, 10 is a sword. Okay,
That's
so
a sword
gonna-
upgrade. So it looks like Akash will have a butter sword and Stinger will have tempered for their Ganon fight.
Akash messing up that room a little bit. Has to backtrack here.
Is that chest 12 that we're on now?
Yes, this is gonna be 12. 12 is Bob's chest. Empty bottle, so not very helpful, but
Possibly vanilla big key coming up.
silvers for ice armor makes the fight a lot easier. $13, $14,
So
almost
big
vanilla.
B 15.
Alright, Akash is going to be just a little behind in picking up his big key. Certainly will be able to make it up in the gauntlet. Nice Mimics 1 from Stinger. And pretty good Mimics 2. Oh no, what happened? Okay, just a little bit of lag. Stinger opting to take the safety here.
Not a bad choice, especially at 1 heart.
Akash is a lot healthier than Stinger now, so potentially save some time for him with that. Sword Beam is messing Stinger a little bit up in that room. This is going with 2 pretty easy. Doing pretty well in the gauntlet so far.
And at the 2-hour mark, we have a very close race here.
Takes down Land Molas pretty easy with the sulfur arrows. And off to the top of the tower. Akash not taking the safety. It's a pretty nice first room of the gauntlet. Needs to light the torches here. If you're quick, you can avoid the fire bar, which he does.
Avoids the magic refill. Interesting.
Yeah, he has enough, and he'll get another one in 2 rooms anyway, or 3
That's
rooms.
true.
So. Nice spin strat to get all 3 Land Molas.
The quickest of Land Mola 2 fights.
Stinger on Moldorm. Little. Gets it. Good job.
Got a little close to the edge there, but managed to stay afloat. Opts to ignore the final chest and will make his way up to Aga 2.
Ooh, Akash misses the triple kill on the Wiz ropes here. An Aghanim fight. Alright.
Seeing a lot of shoutouts for Dairy Queen in chat. I could go for a Blizzard myself.
It's 2 on the first one. It's a little bothered by the second. Alright, tough pattern. This is an easier pattern for him. Let's see how it goes. Might have only been 1. Probably 2, actually. Good fight from Stinger.
We have the bat slamming into the tower at 2 minutes, or 2 hours rather. 2 hours, 3:31.
Good Moldorm fight from Akash.
The difference in sword here could make this time up for Akash. He still has a fighting chance here.
Stinger did get the 1 cycle on the first phase. That's good. And the second phase. Great job.
Akash getting a little trolled here by Aga 2.
On to phase 4 for Stinger here. Does get torch push, let's go. And I think that was a double as well. Great Gan fight from Stinger. GG's.
He finished Ganon just as Akash finished Aghanim. Stinger checks in with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 9 seconds. Let's see if we can get him in here for an interview.
How does it feel, Stinger?
I can't believe I won that.
GG's, my friend.
I was expecting that Trinex death to put me pretty far behind, but I guess I was able to pull something.
Akash is currently fighting Ganon right now. The Trinex death that you spoke of did give him a chance. It was a very close race.
Okay. Yeah, the entire seed, I was really worried about the Ice Rod being an Ice Palace or connected to Ice Palace. But by the time I finally found the Ice Rod, I felt okay-ish that Akash wouldn't have fake flippered to get into Ice, and then found the mirror, and then gone into Swamp Palace to get the Ice Rod on the left side. I felt like it was a little bit of a stretch for that to have happened.
Well, you were almost right. He did fake flippers into ice, but since you needed real flippers to get into swamp, it didn't benefit him at all.
Oh, right. I actually
And Akash-
totally forgot about that.
Akash will check in with an official SR TV time of 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 4 seconds. We'll see if we can get him in here as well. Welcome, Akash. GG to you as well.
Thanks. GG.
So what did you think of that seed and the Ice Rod location specifically?
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah, I can completely agree.
The worst part was I never knew like where I was. I never knew if I had gained time or lost time with anything I did.
Mm-hmm.
For the majority...
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, for the majority of the race, you guys were pretty neck and neck. Toward the end, you started to pull ahead for a little bit, and then you started to fall behind, and then you started to catch back up. It was really interesting to see.
Yeah, it was really awkward at the end because, well, I don't know what Stinger did, but since I fake flippered into Ice Palace, I like knew that there had to be things in certain locations, but I didn't know what they were, and they could have been just the flippers, or they could have been Ice Rod, or something else, and it was weird. It's like I would skip going back into Mire for that last item, but it was like a 50-50 between that and Purple Chest at that point, I think, being something. And maybe I was supposed to know that it had to be flippers, but it's like hard to tell at that point.
Yeah, I decided to basically follow the logic, and I didn't fake flipper into Ice Palace, although that was weighing heavily on my mind basically the entire second half of the seed after I went into TR.
Yeah, it was at the point I went in, I knew there had to be something in Turtle Rock, but the vast majority of the options for things it could be required you to go back in anyways. So like, unless it was exactly Flute and nothing in Ice Palace whatsoever, I think it was better to go into Ice, but it's so hard to say on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was actually really interesting between the two of you. Stinger opted to do Turtle Rock, and you opted to do Ice Palace. And so we got to see both kind of at the same time. And both opened up a lot of the world, so it's really difficult to say which was the better play.
Yeah, my path I felt like was pretty linear for the most part, because I went into TR, I found the flute, I went to Mire, found the flippers, then went to Ice, got the boots and the mirror, and that was the point where it really opened up for me, because at that point I had Desert and Swamp really left to do a bunch of overworld stuff. And I opted to do the overworld stuff, then Desert, then Swamp.
Well, yeah, I'm just now remembering that I actually needed to get flippers for Swamp anyways, so...
Yeah.
It was fine. So I was like, as I was going back in, I was running through all the options in my head for what could be the last item in Mire, and I just kept going back and forth on whether or not I should have done it or not. And then I got the flippers, and I still had no idea what I was doing.
Did you skip the left half of Mire?
Yeah, I skipped the vanilla big key chest.
Okay.
I did the other one on the left. I went directly to Vitreous after that, then walked back in for the last chest.
I see.
Which reminds me, Stinger, you had silver arrows for Vitreous, and yet you opted to do Master Sword spin strats. Is there any particular reason?
I kind of just forgot for the first half. I have too much NMG practice, I guess.
Well, I don't think you had used the bow for like close to 45 minutes at that point, so I understand why forgetting it. It's just not at the front of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question. Do you know how far apart we were when we went into GT?
It was less than a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, I was very close.
My GT was just so bad. And I don't know how much time I lost, but I lost a lot of time there.
I felt super far behind at that point, so I decided to go for a full left and just skip the right side. And
that
that
did
ended
account
up
for
paying off.
Yeah, that accounted for a good amount of the time difference between y'all.
Wait, so I was ahead when
No, you were behind slightly, and then since you
right,
chose to
it
do
was
the right
behind.
two chests, it widened the gap a little bit.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I understand now.
sorry.
All right. Well, if neither of you have any more else to add, then we should start wrapping this up, I think.
I'm good.
Yeah. GG, Akash.
GG. Good luck next round.
Thanks.
Yes, GG's to both of you. And guys, like I said already, if you haven't followed both of these runners, please give them a follow. They put on an amazing race for us all here. I would like to give a couple of shout outs to our tracker and our restreamer, Space Cowboy. And I would like to thank Dow TMB for being here with me this whole time. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a fun race. Glad to do it.
Make sure to check out the other speed gaming channels, 1 through 5, as well as a link to the past ALTTPR 1 through 4 for more races. There is a race going on currently over on Speed Gaming 3, and I believe there will be another one here on Speed Gaming 2 as soon as we wrap up. Oh, I'm sorry. The next one will be in about 40 minutes on Speed Gaming 2. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned.